Chat, here we go. We got ourselves a really nice show match. Another edition of the Mawkzy versus Rw9 saga. A saga that we have watched a good amount of times. In fact, 6 total times on my stream, which is crazy. You might be thinking, why are we watching another Mawkzy Rw9 game when they've done it so much? Well, the series has been one of the most exciting series between these two players that you could ever hope for. They first played in a show match a long time ago before any tournaments. I believe Mawkzy won that one. I actually probably should have double-checked on that, but I'm just going all off my own memory. I want to say Mawkzy won that. Then they played in a tournament that I've run a few different times for players under the age of 15. It was called Next Gen. I've run it. I think I've done 3 versions of Next Gen. And the one that they both played in was the first international one. It wasn't just the North American Young Guns. And Rw9 ended up losing in the winners finals to Mawkzy. It was a double elimination bracket. After he lost, and the winners finals is a great fake, by the way, he ended up coming back and winning and setting a bracket reset in the grand finals and then beating Mawkzy again. Since then, they played in another tournament. Rw9 is just dominating right now. They played in another tournament called the Swamp that I ran. The Swamp is one of my biggest prize pool tournaments, and it happened just a few months ago. And Rw9 and Mawkzy met both in pool play, where Mawkzy won, and the grand finals, where Mawkzy won. And every single time they've played, so we went over all 6 times. I know I'm throwing a whole history at you that you maybe didn't know. But of all the 6 times, only once did the game not go to the game-deciding game. I know I say the word game a lot, but basically, in a best of 5, they'd always go to 5. In a best of 7, they'd always go to 7. Only one time did that not happen, and that was after the bracket reset in Next Gen. So it went, I think it was maybe even a reverse sweep from Rw9 and then a 3-1 in the second game, or the second match. So that's why we're watching it again. The 7th edition of Mawkzy versus Rw9. I do think Mawkzy has the edge in terms of series wins, but in the first minute here, Rw9 already showing that it's always going to be a good match between the two. Look at this flick. Mawkzy gets it first, finally puts himself on the board. And there's no better time to test the Mawkzy flick than against Rw9 defending the net, as he is one of the best players in that position in the game, and he could not save it. That's the kind of heat that Mawkzy's putting on it. I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that Rw9 had a really deep fake challenge. He actually put himself right underneath Mawkzy, which is right where you don't want to be in terms of being able to get to flicks that are popped over the top of you. That was also a really interesting, not flow of Rw9, which I think not continuation of his momentum. He just completely died on the goal line there. Players are normally so keen to hold on to power slide at all times in order to keep moving, but for whatever reason, Rw9 wanted to die right around that net. Actually did still end up getting control. And Mawkzy, a save in a second. Rw9 concedes, check ping. 100 ping for Rw9, 32 for Mawkzy. That does seem a bit high for Rw9. There's a chance we could get him a better server. We'll see if he wants a different one, but these Middle East players are so used to it. Everybody just went to Gamers 8, and you saw a lot of tweets about the North American pros. I think they were mostly from North American pros, playing on EU servers from the Middle East and commenting on how they're blown away that these guys have been doing this their whole, careers. Mawkzy slamming in a third off the kickoff. I should mention, by the way, you are going to see that factor underscore little ad down there in the bottom left. That's because the show matches today are brought to you by Factor. They have sponsored these games, and we very much appreciate that. So if you have any interest in supporting the stream, you can check out Factor using my code, and they'll either be, if you're on the YouTube video, I'm sure there'll be a link, and if you're here on the stream, you can go to the panel underneath the stream. And when you guys support me that way, it makes these places more interested in helping us out and getting us good matches like this best of 7 between Rw9 and Mawkzy. Hook shot from Rw9 as he tries to extend the lead. He had a hot start. And while it's been slowly whittling away, he might be able to hold on to it long enough to keep Mawkzy at bay. Mawkzy, very slow dribble. Great backflip challenge by Rw9. Normally so dangerous. And Rw9 actually played that touch a little bit too fast. Might have had an opportunity to score. We got to watch Rw9 warm up against apparently Jack, because Jack's actually streaming. And so while we were waiting for Mawkzy, who ended up showing up just a little bit late, we watched Rw9 play against Jack on Jack's stream. And there was actually a few different times that Rw9 seemed to be playing faster than he needed to, where he would kind of tap the ball into the corner in order to just stay moving quickly as opposed to waiting for a shot on net. And Jack a couple times was surprised that he was doing that. I think we just saw an example. All right. I think we just saw an example of that here. It's a great flick. These backflip challenges have looked so good from Rw9. It is hard to do those correctly. Rw9 stealing Mawkzy's back corner boost. Not able to find a way to gain control of the ball, but Mawkzy way too high of a chip. Certainly giving Rw9 a chance. Look at the patience from Rw9 on the goal line. Knows what bounce he's going to get off that corner. Does not panic, does not jump. Doesn't even worry about Mawkzy potentially coming in to force it in, because he knows everything that's going on around him. He doesn't need to worry about that at that time. Mawkzy, huge whiff. 40 seconds. Rw9 probably in no rush to bring this ball back to Mawkzy, considering his 3-goal lead. Mawkzy absolutely in a rush. You could see him just flying around this field like a madman. Rw9 should be able to get a counter here. Mawkzy getting a little bit greedy. Hard to blame him with 30 seconds left to go. But the F16 youngster is on his way to a Game 1 win. F16 looks really good in Gamers 8. If you guys weren't able to watch Gamers 8, a crew battle tournament for $2 million held in Saudi Arabia. Definitely Rw9's games worth checking out. You can check out some reviews of them on the YouTube if you really want to watch them, or you can just go to the VODs of Gamers 8 GG. Rw9, nice high challenge. It's all really just for momentum here. This game is definitely going to go to Rw9, but it is nice to not let the opponent see anything go in the final moments to make them really feel like they're stuffed. But Mawkzy able to get a great flick in the final 3 seconds here. The power on this. Rw9 ends up doubling it. Actually an own goal. Mawkzy completely missed. You could tell on that bounce. 7-4. Game number 1 going to Rw9 as he slams it into the midfield. An early lead and a long set. Oh no, Chet, I forgot to do rotation. Map rotation. Well, we'll just stick with Manfield Night. Mawkzy and Rw9. Game number 2. First possession goes to Mawkzy, who looks for his classic attack. A flick, but misses high. Actually, Rw9 gets his classic attack instead, which is him playing so well out of defense. And he is unworried about his back corner boosts, and Mawkzy thought he had time to steal it and stay in the play, but he did not. Mawkzy wise not to grab his corner boost there. Recognizing that Rw9 was chasing him down and he would have died. So he actually did well to keep himself on the map. He had enough boost to make this save, but Rw9 doing a great job of slowing the dribble and letting it come all the way out to the midfield. If he takes that shot early, the angle is very easy for Mawkzy to read. He can stay on that left post knowing the shot is coming somewhere onto the right side. But instead, Rw9 lets the bounce dribble come all the way to the middle of the field, where now he can threaten both sides of the net, as well as letting Mawkzy creep out of that corner a little bit. He's able to find the shot behind him. Rw9 couldn't get this takeaway from his own half. Mawkzy His flick instantly ends his possession as he's not able to steal a back corner boost either. Rw9 playing through the air, not something we see him do very often in ones. But I do recommend watching some Rw9 in 2s and 3s because he turns into an absolute mechanical aerial mastermind, one that we really don't see him do in ones. And for good reason. I mean, he knows what gets W's here. And what gets W's is a nice demo and a side flip on an open net. Mawkzy was hoping to hold on to his possession, but Rw9's not going to let him. Rw9 up to this ball, or the play keep away from Mawkzy, and he almost was able to bump Mawkzy away. Wow, Mawkzy not able to get the save. Mawkzy probably made awkward by the fact that Rw9 is all around him, trying to bump him, trying to get him off the play. So Mawkzy has to take a save that he maybe otherwise wouldn't have wanted to, especially because he was low on boost. And he was having to use flips to retreat back, which put him out of position. That's a nice bump. He should have a goal here. If he misses this, which he did not, he's got his first. So I think this is exactly how game number 1 started, where Rw9 went up 4 goals before Mawkzy scored his first. Mawkzy forcing himself to dig deep out of a hole, and the master of kickoffs, one of the 3 players credited with the best kickoff in ones, is going to get directly kickoff gold. Mawkzy did not go goal side at all. Tried to just push straight through the ball, and Rw9 just got there fast enough and got goal side. I mean, goal side is a little bit slower, but if you can match the pace of the other player, you're going to win a direct kickoff goal like that every time. Now a little back and forth between them at midfield. Rw9 up 6-1. Absolutely dominating here in this show match so far. Rw9 popping this one high as a pass to himself. Oh my goodness, Rw9 just cannot miss. Everything he does is the right play right now. Mawkzy with 80 boost, he just didn't think Rw9 was actually going to get a shot from it. He watched him pop it in the air, but he just stuck around because he didn't think there was an angle to hit it over the top of him, but he was wrong. Rw9, a quick play off the wall, 7-1. Absolute domination. Really no other way to describe it here at the beginning of this show match. Mawkzy got a few goals towards the end of the last one to make it look even closer than it was, but Rw9 was controlling the game the whole time. Mawkzy falling from the ceiling. Rw9 able to get the save. Good dodging of the physical play from Rw9, but another decent backflip challenge. He's able to get back in time before Mawkzy can get the angle, but now where's Rw9 going? He just wants to, I guess he figured he couldn't retreat in time because he truly just left the play. But did he think Mawkzy was for sure going to back clear it? I think Rw9 just tried to get like a super read where Mawkzy was going to make a possession play and basically slam the ball back into his half and maybe try and steal the midfield boost. And Rw9 didn't pre-jump, but he just like pre-read because he stayed on the ground. So he just went all the way out to midfield, like trying to absolutely see the future. But Mawkzy's like, yeah, if you're going to do that, I'm just going to turn the ball back around to the net. Mawkzy this time actually making a possession play back to his own net. The dribble straight down the center, the flick top left. And Rw9 can't save it. Rw9 really likes to make those saves from a shadow position. I don't think he prefers to have to attack them while waiting in net. You can even see that he tried to set up a shadow, a mini shadow there in the final moments. Mawkzy not able to control the dribble fast enough so Rw9 can dunk before the flick happens. Rw9 couldn't control the ball in midfield either. Now Mawkzy, with the little bit of boost in space he had, he just front flips the ball at the net, and Rw9 punishes him. You cannot put on weak shots against this player. He is way too good as he jumps on the wall and is able to use the wave dash as he comes off to launch the long shot. Thank you, Della, for the tier 1 for 6 months. Probably De La something that I would say wrong. Uli Luis? I always get that one wrong. Not even subbing for a while. But anyways, thank you. Mawkzy, goal line 50. Not out of this one in game number 2. With a minute 15 left to go. Luis, that's right. That's right. You always tell me that one of them is fine. And I should realize that. Luis or Luis. Whichever, I'm not sure which one you want. Just go with that one. Rwas playing keep away. Getting a 9th here. He has really been able to run him up in a way that I don't think Mawkzy normally will let. But I think Mawkzy's just playing super aggressive. Sure. We can go next. Alright, let me make sure I save this replay. Rwas, do you... Okay, he left. I was going to say, if Rwas really wanted this server, we could keep it. Mawkzy versus Rwas. Game number 3. Mawkzy, as always, or at least as very much of late, in the Twitch chat during his show match. Somebody, I think it was KV1, saying Rwas is looking good. And Mawkzy said, just wait to see who wins. So he hasn't lost confidence, even though he's down 2 here with what has been, very dominant gameplay from Rwas. Not even that Rwas has been able to sneak them away. He has just looked like the better player for the first 10 minutes, or I should say 9 minutes, because that last minute was forfeited by Mawkzy. But Mawkzy hasn't seen a lead on the board at all so far. So it'd be great to get the first goal here in game number 3. But Rwas just so patient on the goal line. Look at how glued to the ground he is. Even here, the soft single jump is just a fake in order to get Mawkzy off the ball. Huge fake here from Rwas. And Mawkzy actually had a great recovery. Wow, I'm impressed with how quick Mawkzy got back. He's not going to want to watch this one again, as he gets absolutely done dirty here. But he lands right on the boost and actually has a pretty decent recovery, almost able to get the save. But another early lead for Rwas. Oh no, I mean Mawkzy. This is normally his specialty. He dominates the kickoffs. Is he going for another straight through the ball? Hey, he's not going goal side at all, and Rwas is. We'll try and watch that from Rwas' next time. But that's very interesting. I've always felt like that kickoff strategy on the diagonal is really risky. Yet for whatever reason, Mawkzy has faith in it. It hasn't worked out for him a couple times. I haven't been paying enough attention to see all the times it's probably went okay. The last 2 direct kickoff goals for Rwas have been because Mawkzy is doing that. 3-0. This is the classic Rwas. You make a shot that just isn't good enough, and he is going to counter on you so effectively. Mawkzy, the wave dash kickoff, but still not winning the race to the boost. So another first possession for Rwas. Air dribble, reset the wave dash. He's not able to push it past Mawkzy. Mawkzy now. Oh my goodness. Oh no! If that doesn't describe the way that this game has been going. Mawkzy with the most boomer of a flick at 0 boost. Got so much power on it. And it just hits crossbar and post and goes out instead of in. But hey, Mawkzy's going to get his first goal a little bit sooner than he had in the previous 2 games. I think both games started 4-1. This time it's going to be 3-1. Mawkzy able to stop the bleeding a little bit earlier. But that is not the way to come back in this series. He is going to have to take control at some point. He's got another kickoff in his favor. Rwas, the quick dunk in order to not let him get a dribble. And Rwas trying to hold on to possession as he takes it out to midfield. Mawkzy, another flick. Not the same kind of perfect setup, so he's not going to get the same kind of power. And Rwas, oh my goodness, how did he sneak this shot? Mawkzy even says WTF. This shot should not have been open, but Rwas sees an opportunity to just launch a rolling power shot. Mawkzy's not ready for it. He's jumping because he's expecting if any sort of touch is coming, it's going to be one with height, not just a direct roll. And Mawkzy cannot get there. Oh my goodness. Everything Rwas does just seems to be the right play right now. Rwas, the shadow into the backflip as Mawkzy chips the ball up for the shot. Now Mawkzy needs a defensive stand here. Great use of his second jump to push him right back down to that corner boost. Make sure he doesn't go flying away. Rwas not able to get this open net out of his own half. Mawkzy does cover it early. Oh no, and Rwas actually might have just helped own goal. A mistake, a flaw in the player who seems to be having no flaws today. Rwas with the ball on the back wall, chipping it off maybe to try and create an angle for himself to shoot, but instead he chipped it off, created an angle for Mawkzy to pinch it directly in. Rwas resets. Can't do anything with it. Mawkzy is able to pinch it away. Another one of these high pops at the midfield as Rwas flies past the ball. Did such a good job of making sure to connect with the ball with the tail end of his front flip in order to just pop it straight in the air so that he can turn around and come back on top of it. Mawkzy trying to go low 50. Not a ton of options with how little boost he had. Though we did see him rip such a massive flick that he at least ended with 0 boost. I think he only started with like 10 or so. He can really find some power. This time, a change in strategy as he tries to slow pop it over the top of Rwas. What does Rwas do other than immediately end Mawkzy's possession, take the ball away? That being said, Mawkzy back in control. He really wants these low 50s to work, but he forgot he's playing against a Middle Eastern player in a Fennec. It's impossible to get past him on a 50. This time, Mawkzy does pop it over the top as Rwas goes flying past. Rwas has been pretty aggressive with Mawkzy's setups, and this is maybe Mawkzy starting to realize that. He really doesn't want Mawkzy to get to his dribble because that is where he is most threatening. So we've seen him turn in an early challenge as Mawkzy was setting up contact with the ball. This time, the early flick is able to get him a goal, but man, the counters have just been Rwas' bread and butter. Always have been, but especially today. Mawkzy gets what he thinks is a good enough shot, tries to demo Rwas, who just jumps over the top of him. 5-3. Mawkzy had worked his way all the way back to within 1 goal. Rwas is already going to push it back up to 2. Rwas tap back into his own half. Mawkzy doing his best to try and steal the possession. Will he be able to do so? Rwas has been able to stay in this play this whole time. Should be a Mawkzy possession now. As he pops it early. And this musty is not going to result in a play that will get past this Rwas defender right now. Another counterattack. This time it's finally saved, but it's not going to matter because Mawkzy needed a goal and he needed it right then and there. Rwas will carry it away. This one is either hitting the ground. Mawkzy actually might be able to keep it up. No. It is going to be 3-0. It'll have to be a reverse sweep for Mawkzy if he wants to come back in this one. But the Rwas-Mawkzy series, it's just maybe possible. Mawkzy and Rwas. Game number 4. Rwas with the first kickoff possession. I think if we're going to see a Mawkzy comeback, we might need to see a Mawkzy lead early in this game. He has yet to lead, I think, at any moment. And he really needs to start hot in this game number 4. Dribble for him, flick. Does get saved. And look at how intimidated I would say Mawkzy's getting by Rwas' defense now, because I really felt like there was an opportunity to go over the top of Rwas. But Mawkzy's just playing so patient. He knows that any little mistake is going to get him scored on. And now he's going to just play much more careful when he's in Rwas' half. Rwas launching this to the ceiling. Mawkzy going to try and beat him. Needs to recover this faster than Rwas. He should be able to. Interesting chip by Mawkzy. Rwas has the read, and he can't get the stopping of the double, but Rwas didn't shoot off of it. Ended up just dropping it down. Rwas demoed off the field. Mawkzy needs a quick play to the net. I think he was only going to be able to get it with an immediate pinch. What a save from Rwas. The soft pinch to set up the shot is not going to be fast enough. Rwas is refusing to let Mawkzy lead at all in this series. High pop from Mawkzy. Rw9 seeing the ball is not going to cross the goal line in the air, is willing to wait and let 50% of it in if it means he can catch a dribble. Now Rw9 able to pop it past Mawkzy on the goal line. Another early lead for Rw9. Mawkzy has only been able to slow it down but not stop it at around this same time. 3 minutes left in the game is usually when Rw9 was up 4. Now he's only up 1, so it is an improvement. But he has got to end the momentum. Rw9 trying to find what would have been a super tough angle. If there's anybody that can do it, it is Rw9 on this day, it seems. Nice save here. That shot actually did seem to be a little weak from Mawkzy. We'll watch it again from his perspective. He had to have known that that wasn't going to be very threatening. I mean, we didn't get to go far enough back in the replay, but it looked like he was going for a really soft touch, and you just can't get away with that kind of stuff against Rw9. He's way too good out of his own net. Another shot, 3-0. There it is, the 3-0 lead we've seen in every single game so far. We finally got there. Mawkzy misses his wave dash. Rw9 in Mawkzy's half. Another high pop to himself. Seeing a little bit more aerial play from Rw9 here, as he's now up 3-0 in games and 3-0 in score in this game number 4. Mawkzy from the ceiling. Too strong to a first touch. He's going to have to try and play it off the ground here. And a great play. Rw9 we see being really, really patient. Didn't want to risk trying to steal it from him at any moment during this bounce. Ends up letting Mawkzy flick it over the top of him. Mawkzy trying to set up his dribble. Rw9 takes it away and gets a fourth. Mawkzy just has not been able to set up his dribbles fast enough before Rw9 just takes them away. Double fake from both these guys at the midfield. Mawkzy just cannot find an opening ever against Rw9. Doing such a good job of keeping the net locked down. Even when it feels like there's a window, there's always a late recovery from the young Saudi Arabian player. Mawkzy, a couple different shots on net. Should have been able to continue this offense, and he will. Rw9 actually makes it out to the midfield. A nice demo, and if it's not directly in, then Rw9 is going to be okay, and it's not, of course, because every bounce is going in Rw9's favor. He tried to boom a long shot. He thought Mawkzy might have respawned and rushed back to his half as quick as possible. He could punish him by just launching it over the top, but Mawkzy hadn't committed that hard. He is able to get back to this. And just a bit of a snaking dribble gets Mawkzy his second. He's got a minute 17 back against the wall as much as it can be. Needs to clutch this out. Mawkzy bumped, but still able to recover. Should be able to pick up his own corner as well. Might even be able to steal the midfield. Actually, a demo should be a goal. Rw9 would need a really great spawn, and I'm not even sure if any spawn would have been able to do it. Mawkzy would just need to have messed up. So within a minute, a single goal for Mawkzy. These diagonal kickoffs have been very interesting for him, but you can see on the other side of the ball, he did not do the method that has been failing him. He did get a little bit more goal side this time, but what is he doing? He's just waiting to let Rw9 take the ball away from him. Mawkzy saying go for it, close one. I'm not sure what he was hoping to do here. The ball falling high from the sky right over the top of him. Maybe he thought that it was a little bit lower to the ground and he was ready to catch it, but it was nowhere close to hitting. So Rw9 had no worries getting up to take it away. Ooh, Rw9, not a strong clear from somebody who has perfected the defensive half of this show match. He finally makes a mistake. "40 seconds, single goal." Mawkzy wave dash kickoff is going to work for him, getting him the early possession. Takes the ball into the corner, which cuts off a lot of his angles, but he finds one anyways. Credit to Mawkzy, who does not want to go down without a fight. Tying it up 5-5. Rw9 has been able to react to everything in net, but finally he has letting a few in. And Mawkzy has tied it up. Oh no. Immediate kickoff goal for Rw9. No, I think Mawkzy should be there. Nope, never mind. Even if he did get there and got it off the post, Rw9 is likely to just finish it. (6-5). Feeling like it's coming here for Rw9. This is certainly the closest game yet. Mawkzy is going to get another great opportunity here with 15 seconds left to go. Rw9, the backflip challenges have done well. And he actually didn't even backflip this time. He just reversed into a side flip. Now Mawkzy, he sets up Rw9 for a pass. He thought Rw9 was going to give him space. But Rw9 knew better in the final moments. The best defense is some offense as he slams the ball in on the chip shot. 7-5. Mawkzy says he can't play today. Rw9 comes out your winner in a sweep. The first ever sweep in the saga between Mawkzy and Rw9. But man, what a performance. Credit to Rw9 for an amazing best of 7 and a perfect defensive display.